When a shepherd opened the path to a sealed cave, he had no idea that a centuries-old mystery was about to unfold right in front of him. A mystery that left an entire nation in shock. Today, we are going to tell you the amazing story of Ashabul Kahf, an event that Allah Ta'ala himself has mentioned in the Quran. So, please make sure to watch the video until the very end. After Hazrat Isa, alayhi wasalam, was taken up to the heavens, the condition of the people slowly began to change. As time passed, many people drifted away from the path of truth. Many even abandoned the worship of Allah and started worshipping idols instead. Not only that, they also forced others to worship idols as well. During that era, there was a king named Dakianus. He was an incredibly cruel and stone-hearted ruler. Anyone who refused to bow down before the idols or stayed firm in worshipping Allah would face severe punishment from Dakianus. And often, just speaking the truth would put a person's life in great danger. In those dark days, there were some young men in the city of Ephesus who stood firm on the truth. These youths came from noble families of the city, and they held great respect and high positions in the king's court. But one thing made them different from everyone else. They had deep faith in Allah, and they absolutely hated idol worship. When they saw that the cruelty of Dakianus was increasing day by day, and people were being forced to bow before idols, they made a firm decision to save their faith. So, one day, they quietly left the king's court and headed towards a mountain far away from the city. There, they found a cave and took shelter inside it. After that, Allah placed such a deep sleep upon them that they kept sleeping for centuries. Meanwhile, when Dakianus found out that these young men had escaped, he started searching for them everywhere. Finally, he received news that they were inside a cave. Hearing this, Dakianus became extremely furious. He angrily ordered, "Seal the entrance of the cave." As a result, a heavy stone wall was built at the mouth of the cave. He wanted these youths to remain trapped inside, and for that cave to become their grave. But Dakianus did not know that what he considered a grave, Allah Ta'ala was about to turn into a magnificent miracle. The man to whom Dakianus assigned this sealing task was actually a good-hearted and faithful believer. He thought perhaps future generations might forget the story of these young men. So he carefully engraved the names of Ashabul Kahf, their numbers, and their entire story on a tablet. Then he placed that tablet inside a copper box and safely hid it in the foundation of the cave's wall. And as a precaution, another identical tablet was securely stored in the royal treasury. Time passed by. Days turned into months, and months turned into years. Eventually, Dakianus also died, and the kingdoms began to change hands. Much later, a righteous and just king ascended the throne. His name was Bidos. He ruled with great splendor for a very long time. But during his reign, a new confusion arose among the people. Some people began to deny the concept of life after death and the resurrection on the day of judgment. When the king saw this condition of his people, he was deeply heartbroken. He went into a room all alone and started crying and praying to Allah Ta'ala. He pleaded, "O Allah, reveal such a sign that the belief in the day of judgment and life after death is restored among the people." And Allah Ta'ala accepted the prayer of his servant. Then, suddenly one day, a shepherd arrived near that mountain with his flock of goats. He chose that exact same cave to keep his goats. And as he began to remove the wall built at the cave's entrance, he had no idea that he was about to awaken a mystery which had been hidden from the eyes of the world for centuries. As soon as the wall at the cave's entrance collapsed, a strange sense of fear and terror gripped the hearts of the people. The men who were breaking the wall started trembling with fear and ran away in sheer panic. Meanwhile, by the command of Allah Ta'ala, the sleep of Ashab-ul-Kahf was finally broken. They slowly woke up and sat down in such a way as if they had only slept for a few hours. Then they greeted each other with salam, checked on one another, and immersed themselves in the worship of Allah Ta'ala. They prayed and expressed their deep gratitude to their Lord. After a while, when they felt hungry, they said to one of their companions, Yamlika, go to the city and arrange some food for us. And also try to find out what Dakianus is planning to do with us. So Yamlika came out of the cave and headed towards the city. But as soon as he reached the city, he was absolutely shocked. A place where just taking the name of faith was once a crime. Today, the remembrance of Allah was happening all around. People were openly declaring their faith in Hazrat Isa, alayhi wasallam, and freely talking about the religion. Seeing this incredible sight, Yamlika was completely amazed. He started thinking to himself, what is going on? Until yesterday, believers were being tortured here. How did everything change today? So, Yamlika carefully reached the city market. He went to a baker's shop and took out his coin to buy some food. As soon as the shopkeeper's eyes fell on that coin, he was stunned. It was the exact same coin that was used centuries ago during the era of Dakianus, and now it did not exist anymore. The shopkeeper suspected that perhaps this man had found an old, hidden treasure. So he handed Yamlika over to the local authorities. The authorities asked him, tell us the truth. Where did you find this hidden treasure? Yamlika replied in surprise, what treasure? This is my own money. The authorities said, how is that possible? This coin is more than 300 years old. Its use ended centuries ago. Then they added, you are still a young man, so tell us the real truth. Hearing this, Yamlika himself was completely shocked. He asked, where is King Dakianus? Hearing this question, the authorities looked at each other's faces. Then they replied, today there is no king by this name in the world. Yes, centuries ago, a cruel king named Dakianus passed away. Hearing this, Yamlika's astonishment knew no bounds. He said, but we just escaped from his fear yesterday. Yamlika said, my companions are staying in a cave nearby. If you want, you can come with me. Hearing this, the city's nobles, scholars, and prominent leaders set off with Yamlika in large numbers. As they reached near the cave, the rest of Ashab-ul-Kahf were still waiting for their companion. When Yamlika was quite late to return, they started to worry. They said among themselves, maybe Yamlika has been arrested. Meanwhile, the voices of a large crowd could be heard outside the cave. Hearing the noise, Ashab-ul-Kahf thought that maybe the army of Dakianus had arrived to arrest them. So, with great sincerity, they engaged themselves in the zikr of Allah Ta'ala, Tawbah and Istighfar. Meanwhile, the authorities had reached the cave. While searching the area, they found a copper box, which had been hidden there many years ago. When the box was opened, a tablet was found inside. The authorities began to read the writing. On that tablet, the names of Ashab-ul-Kahf were recorded, and their entire story was written. It also stated that these faithful young men had taken shelter in this cave to protect their religion from the cruelty of Dakianus. The authorities were completely stunned after reading all this. Immediately, this news was sent to King Baidos. As soon as he heard the news, King Baidos set off towards the cave, along with his ministers, scholars, and the noblemen of the city. When he reached the cave, Ashab-ul-Kahf came outside. They met King Baidos and described their entire story. Now, it was clear to everyone that Allah Ta'ala had kept these youths alive for centuries, revealing a great sign of his power. Seeing this, King Baidos immediately fell into sajda and began to thank Allah Ta'ala. He said, "O my Lord, you have accepted my prayer, and you have revealed such a sign for the people that the belief in the day of judgment and life after death has become even stronger." Ashab-ul-Kahf began to pray for King Baidos. They said, May Allah Ta'ala protect your kingdom and grant you the best reward." Then they added, "Now we leave you in the care of Allah Ta'ala." Saying this, Ashabul Kahf greeted everyone, saying, "Assalamu alaikum." After that, they slowly went back inside the cave. Going inside, they began to rest again. And then, by the command of Allah Ta'ala, they passed away in that very state. When King Baidos heard this news, he was deeply saddened. He had a strong and beautiful chest made, and with great respect, placed the pure bodies of Ashabul Kahf inside it. Allah Ta'ala created such an awe and fear of Ashabul Kahf in the hearts of the people that no one dared to even go near the cave's entrance anymore. In this way, Allah Ta'ala himself arranged for the protection of his righteous servants. After this, King Baidos built a place of worship near the cave. He also set a special day so that people could come there and remember this great sign of Allah's power. People would come from far and wide and remember this magnificent event, an event that taught the world that if Allah Ta'ala wills, He can reveal the signs of His power even after centuries. This beautiful story is present in Surah Al-Kahf of the Holy Quran.